Holy... I'm finally dead! Wait, is this heaven? Wala pa ako sa langit. For as long as I can remember, I've disconnected myself from Philippine cinema. Due to how repetitive the movies I've watched growing up as a kid, I came to dismiss Filipino movies as the industry finally cannibalizing itself in some last-ditch efforts to milk itself dry until it keels over and dies. To which, afterwards, its corpse would be hung and beaten by the proverbial stick by the same entities that milked it dry. And I was satisfied with that notion. Apart from works by a certain Gerald Tarog, I was ready to cast Filipino cinema aside and move on to greener pastures, wherever that is. That was until a certain film in 2017 called Seven Sundays caught my eye, and while it still had tropes that I definitely do not agree with, freaking dance numbers, I thought it was a good movie with a lot of heart, and I was glad I watched it. And it got me thinking. Maybe I was too harsh with my judgment, and maybe there are some Filipino films out there that are genuinely good and I'm just not putting in the effort to look for them. And so on that fateful day in 2017, I made a choice that I'd give them another chance. And I had a lot of fun. I would discover movies that I would have never dared to try out in my previous cynical point of view, and it was a great experience. Looking back, I was glad I made that decision because I would have not given Hintayan ng Langit the light of day. Hintayan ng Langit, or Heaven's Waiting, is a movie about a lot of things. Love, death, the loved ones you leave behind. I won't be going over the plot of the film, but if you want to watch it and you have time, watch it on Netflix. But if you just want to get on with the video, spoilers ahead, I guess. Hintayan ng Langit is set in purgatory, aptly named Kalagitnaan, or the middle. And can I just say, I definitely vibe with this place. If there ever is a middle, and it looks exactly like this, I wouldn't mind to be stuck in here. It has this 70s Philippines aesthetic that I only ever see in pictures of my grandpa. And you also get cool stuff like this magic TV where you can watch your memories in and your loved ones as well. And they also have a direct line to people up in heaven. How cool is that? Bureaucracy is still a thing, unfortunately, so if you died waiting in line in whatever they call the DMV in your country, then this is going to be very familiar for you. Hopefully there's none of that in heaven. Also, there's juice. I mean, what even is in that drink? They say it calms people. Lisang clearly knows there's something in it to make your brain all... I mean, she even makes that guy in the support group drink it because she knows that will make him less unruly. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's a friggin' support group in the middle to help you process your death. You might be dead, but the middle still cares about your mental health. Can I also call out Aling Baby? Her name is Baby, by the way, but that's not important. She was so happy that she died, thinking that she'd escaped all her debts, not realizing that it'll be passed on to her children instead. It's pretty messed up. She does eventually find out in the magic TV thing in her room, and she freaks out in the hallway. And guess the first thing they give to her while calming her down? That's right, it's the juice. After that small freak out in the hallway, you later see her telling everybody that they made her drink nothing but that juice all day. I mean, what is in that juice? I am really concerned. From the moment Lisang meets Manolo, it's pretty clear that they have a bit of a history together. Of course, we later find out that Lisang and Manolo were lovers at one point in their lives, but through a set of choices each of them made, they grew apart, had a family, died, and somehow met in the middle again. Something, Manolo asked Lisang, am I that easy to forget? I don't want no one but you. How can you leave without regret? Am I that easy to forget? It's a funny thing, these choices that we make. It could range from being small and insignificant all the way to irreversible and life-changing. I'm almost in my mid-20s and I've made countless choices in my life. And as much as I celebrate those choices that I've made, regardless of results, there's still those choices that haunt me years after I've made them. All those countless what ifs and what could have beens live rent-free inside my head. And it never fails to keep me up at night. Sometimes I'll be up at 3 a.m. thinking about how it would be nice just to go back and choose differently. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty happy with how my life turned out. But is it so wrong to just wonder how differently it could have worked out? Lisang certainly didn't think so. I mean, she waited 2 years. 2 years for Manolo. She did community service, and all the while, she tried her best to delay getting into heaven just to see him again. And when he was finally there and her time to go was inevitable, she still tried to delay her departure by being mean to Bantay. All to resolve whatever it is she and Manolo had between them. But why is that? We've heard multiple times from multiple characters that all the emotional baggage that you still have will disappear once you get into heaven. But that's just the thing. Lisang thinks that it's pointless just to be another blissful soul in heaven if everything she's harbored until now isn't resolved right here and now. On that note, I think the secret ingredient to the juice is essence of heaven, or an imperfect version of it, because you have to constantly keep chugging that thing down to keep you happy. Lisang wasn't able to wait for Manolo in the pier. That much is true, but now she's steeled the resolve and waited for him here, in the middle. On the eve before Lisang is due to cross over, they finally got that slow dance that they were denied in their youth. The scene was underscored by Kapantayang Langit, a great song by the legendary Pilita Corrales, and was covered by Gigi Calvo for this movie. They danced the minutes away, and after all that time in the middle looking back and asking, what if? They realized that they weren't done just yet, and they escaped into the land of the living. I gotta say though, I kind of feel bad for Lisang and Manolo's spouses up in heaven. It's just sad that while they did live fulfilling lives with their respective spouses, Lisang and Manolo always had a small part of them that belonged to each other. And that just doesn't seem fair to me. Although, I guess Nestor and Esther are in heaven now, so they probably don't even care. Do I think Lisang and Manolo could have lived happily ever after if they had eloped all those years ago? I doubt it. Lisang got swayed by rumors and chose to cheat on Manolo, and Manolo, while he chose to take responsibility at the time, he admitted that he might have not been able to bear watching Lisang carry another man's child. That's just a dysfunctional family waiting to happen. But maybe they could have made it work. Maybe they could have gotten over it together and found happiness in each other. Maybe. But seeing as how they've already lived a satisfying life, would it be such a bad thing to live out a life you could have had if you had chosen differently? Well, I guess only heaven knows.